the Kenya Pipeline Company's IPO upcoming, understandably, there's a lot of focus on the numbers and the detail leading up to this privatization. However, there is a crucial matter of the human face, the human behind the success of Kenya Pipeline Company over the years and even moving into the future as we transition. And that's why we have to seek the audience of the General Manager of HR, and that is Dinah Kirwa. Thank you for having us today.
Welcome.
And you manage a big number, I imagine, and just as the focus right now is a lot on the IPO, you on a daily basis are focused on your people. So tell us a bit more about your people, because when I hear Kenya Pipeline Company, we think of the machinery, the infrastructure that goes into the reliable and safe distribution of fuel. However, there's humans behind this. Tell us about this core resource that you handle on a daily basis.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, we are in a season of privatization, and key to the success of Kenya Pipeline are the people. Currently, we have 1,000, our establishment is 1,382, but we are going through, just like any other public organization, a lot of exits in terms of mandatory retirement. So we are at 1,274. But we have put in measures in terms of succession, planning to ensure that there is continuity of the business to the future. We also have, we are highly technical, so we have 71% of our staff are technical and 31% are the support staff. When we are saying the support teams, that includes all other services that we provide to support, that includes HR, administration, finance, supply chain, strategy, and all the non-technical. So we have highly skilled manpower, and the skills are very unique, because I always say that what an engineer does at Kenya Pipeline is not what an engineer does in in the road sector or any other sector. They are very unique. We are very high consumers of mechanical engineers, because those are the people that sustain our pumps. And given that, is that really the success of pipeline lies with its human resource. You can have, the assets, you can have the infrastructure, the pipes, but without the human resource, it will amount to almost nothing, because that controller in that control room is the one that really holds that valve, opens that green valve, the red and the yellow, to determine the direction and the flow of fuel all the way from PS1, which is coast to Nairobi, to the different station, to the western station, that is Nakuru, Eldoret, and Kisumu, for distribution. So that's a decision that they have to make on a daily basis. So for me, human resource is everything.
And they are your bread and butter, so
yes,
to speak.
Every day.
It goes without saying then the role that is played by the human resource is very crucial.
Yes.
And now, in the past, and even into the future.
Yes.
But the future talks of a transition.
Yes.
From a wholly government-owned corporation now to a privatized company. And it is something that is expected that there will be questions. A season of uncertainty, even. I'm sure you've faced it. Questions being brought directly to your desk on your email. Madam HR, is jobs safe? What do you say to that question of uncertainty?
I think every change brings itself a form of uncertainty. It's just given, even in ordinary life. Yes, we have those concerns, very deep. I must say that they are very deep, because there's a lot of fear about tomorrow, fear about the safety of the jobs for our staff. And more importantly, maybe to note, is that most of these employees, they do not know any other employer, 90%. 90% are employees who came here when they are very young, maybe for technicians, after the polytechnic, they finish after the degree engineer. So our average length of stay is 22 years. Yeah, around between 22, 25 years. So this is, somebody has known this to be their home.
Maybe says that you're a good employer.
Yes, it is. We are actually we are a good employer. That I must admit. So these are people, they do not know any other employer. So when you come and they have known, they have developed a high sense of ownership for the organization. And let me tell you, the ownership of this organization by the employees is at another level. They feel like, which is also a positive thing, that they really want to protect, and they want to really give the best to this organization. So you would expect that, given that circumstances, that fear about tomorrow is, and about the safety of their jobs, the fear about will we lose our benefits? Yes, and there are some benefits that they hold so dear. The fear about our culture, we are used to this way of doing things. Is it going to change? What is coming? It is really basically the unknown. But we have taken steps to really give that assurance to staff. Before, when it started, the conversation around privatization started, we went around all the stations physically, and we were able to meet employees morning, afternoon sessions, to just assure them that from the proposal that went to Parliament, there was an assurance that there were no job losses. So that is the assurance that we gave them. The assurance that there is a possibility that you will have ownership of the company through the employee ownership share program. The comfort that really they have developed skills, and it doesn't matter whether it's private sector or public, whoever comes will still require
the skill set,
them, and they will require their skills to their future. So we have given those assurance to employees.
The benefits? Losing the benefits?
Yes, we've given the assurance that, it's either protected by their CPA or the law, and therefore you will not lose the benefits. So we've given those assurance, and beyond the assurance and visit and having actually sensitization sessions, we've continued to communicate. Yes.
And given that you've really invested in their skill set
to
grow them over the years, from graduate school to all the ladders that they've gone up to be the engineers that they are. But another thing that you, in your position, would be doing is mapping out possible scenarios. And the one common thing I've heard, speaking to the managing director, speaking to general manager of finance, is something they look forward to, and a change that is anticipated is culture of decisions being made faster, moving from a government enterprise to a private, organizational company. Through the privatization, decisions will be made faster. As HR, do you then see a change in the way, besides that, of how things will be done, and therefore translation of new skills being required within the system?
Yes, we really appreciate that most people that have interacted with us in the past have come out to suggest, which we appreciate, that we operate more of like a private sector than a typical public service. Yes, notwithstanding, we know that there would be changes in terms of how we respond to the customer, the speed at which we'll be able to make decisions, to be able to respond the customer. There'll be a lot of scrutiny about us in terms of our ethics, our accountabilities, and more focus on operational discipline and excellence. Yeah, so those ones will come. So definitely that will require changes even in the way that we do things. So that does not amount to the loss of jobs, but how do we internally organize to make sure that we are able to be more responsive the way we do things? Definitely, when you are from a public sector, there are processes and there are procedures that are already established that sometimes slows down how we respond to issues. As we go forward, being a private sector environment, that's a different environment that's requires probably a higher level, which will require a higher level of skills in terms of response.
Okay.
And when I look at the skills, we'll be looking at both the soft skills in terms of the communication, in terms of emotional intelligence, in terms of ethical and accountability, in terms of management because of the scrutiny. But you'll also be looking in terms of the skills that will help us in terms of responding to the customers.
Okay.
Skills. We are in AI season, so we are looking at the digital. That will go up
Yes.
quite up in terms of digital. We are also looking at the aspect of productivity, and when I look at it, in a typical public sector, you look at productivity from a corporate perspective, maybe from a team perspective, but as you go into private sector, that will go down to individual productivity.
And also
Those
with the
skills,
capital
yes.
that you're raising, there's anticipated growth. So
Mhm.
obviously with growth, you will be exploring other avenues that Kenya
Yes,
Pipeline can
yes.
be able to move into.
Now we've gone to fiber optic. That's
Yeah.
something that is still new, but we are looking at it that it's going to grow.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will be looking at the skills. We've started looking at it and we realize actually internally we may not even have those skills. So we will have to go to the market and get the skills that will be able to drive on that. And there could be other businesses that will come, revenue channels that will come. So to the future, yes, we are looking to the future that there will be a lot more in terms of skills, a lot more in terms of opportunities, and those opportunities will come with skills that must be invested now and grown, and also looking at where else do we get these skills.
Okay.
Yes.
There's the question as we get into the conclusion of this about now that you're privatizing, you will be getting into a lot of scrutiny, yes, attention, yes, but as you map out the future and looking at what to anticipate, how can you make the person that you started by describing as a very core resource as integral to the success of Kenya Pipeline, how can you make them genuinely part of this transition and even beneficial in this transition of privatization moving forward?
I think for more importantly about this human resource is really about inclusion. It's about treating them with respect, and it is about genuine engagement, which is very, very important. Do they understand the journey? So it's about how do we then bring them on board in that respect in terms of inclusion, and inclusion is around activities like this share the S of the employee share ownership. So how do you just letting them be part of the organization, and to feel that they own the organization that they have worked for many years and going forward. It's about how do you help them appreciate the value that they bring to the organization, and you motivate through the small things that we do and we have done. Yeah, like we appreciate them when we've done a good performance last year. When they go for Christmas, they go with something to share with their families. Yes, we have performance incentive programs. How do we then make them better? Yeah, do we need to, bonuses for them? So it's really how do you make them feel like they are part of the organization? How do you create recognition and appreciation programs that will be able to make them feel like, yes, we are being appreciated, we are part of this process. And I think more importantly is really creating a mental picture for them to the future, and how they fit in terms of contribution to the future, in terms of business performance, how they will contribute, how they contribute as individuals to the regional economy. That's motivating enough.
And as a last word, and you've spoken of how they fit in, you're a big part of this as the head of HR. Can you give us your promise, if we were to look at your inbox, that's your private email. You haven't been sending out applications, because this is a reassurance sign to other staff here. Stay
Mm,
put.
mm,
The future is bright, and
mm,
I'm here to stay.
mm,
That if we were to look at your LinkedIn or your inbox, that you haven't been, Madam HR has not been applying other places and looking to leave, and she's staying put, as you should, and as you finalize.
Yes, you can look at it. I think I'm here
Yeah.
and ready. I feel that I have a responsibility,
Yeah.
in terms of supporting the employees through the IPO process. And any activity that we do or I do it with professional discipline, with honest, with humane and empathy, and to be able to, to support the process.
Many of your peers within the HR world will be looking at you in terms of how you manage this process. What will be success for Dinah through the IPO process and after, that you'll be proudly look back in your resume and say, I did this and it's a success because of this? What translates to success?
For me, let me approach it from two ways.
Yeah.
I will approach it from the organizational perspective. And from the organizational perspective, is about the sustainability of the organization. And the sustainability of the organization will have to be anchored on the human resource, in terms of, making sure that we invest in their skills, we invest in their culture, in their mindset, and build them so that the organization remains sustainable to the future. From the part of the employees, it's about managing the change,
Yeah.
change management, to make sure that the transitions employees who will transition with a positive mindset,
Okay.
with confidence, with mental resilience and strength, and with an attitude that yes, there is a purpose for them within the organization, and they have a responsibility, and that they are able to carry out that responsibility and support the organization, and really with that confidence.
Yeah.
So I would look at it from two ways, looking at balancing between the organization and also the employees, but doing it with a lot of professionalism, and making sure that two balance. Yes.
Well, you are definitely going to be doing the Lord's work in transitioning with the rest of the team here, and it's a big task, and
Yes,
I'm
it
wishing you
is.
the success in
Thank
it
you. Thank
and
you.
all the best. And we're following this conversation, we're following the journey, and yes, she's staying put. She's not going anywhere. And she says that those within, because this has been an internal conversation, that they should be confident and remain positive for what lies ahead, as the Human Resource Department will be walking the journey with the internal staff, as well as those who are looking in as the stakeholders who they serve on a daily basis. The journey definitely continues.